Welcome back to Chill English. I'm Quinn, and I'm truly happy to see you again in today's episode. Every time you come back to listen, it's another step forward in your English learning journey, and I'm really proud that you're here. In this podcast, I will speak slowly and clearly so you can follow every sentence and every idea without missing anything. I'll use simple, easy-to-understand words, and I'll repeat the main points several times. This not only helps you listen better, but also gives you the chance to practice speaking while listening. You can repeat after me, just like in a natural conversation. My biggest goal is to help you practice both listening and speaking, and more importantly, to gradually build the habit of thinking in English. I know this is the common desire of many learners, and perhaps it's also the reason why you're listening to this podcast. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about a topic that almost every English learner has wondered about and struggled with. It's familiar, practical, and will surely make you feel more connected to learning this language. How can we think directly in English? This is a question that almost everyone learning a foreign language has asked themselves. When we first start speaking, we often think in our mother tongue and then translate into English. However, this unintentionally slows down our communication, makes our sentences sound unnatural, and sometimes even leads to grammar mistakes. In reality, this isn't your fault. It's simply because the brain always wants to take the most familiar path, which is your native language. The good news is, thinking in English is not a special gift that only some people have. It's actually a skill. And since it's a skill, it can absolutely be trained. Just like when you learn to drive a car, at first, everything seems complicated, and you need to remember every step, but over time it becomes automatic. Thinking in English works the same way. The more you practice, the more natural and comfortable it will feel. So why do we need to practice this skill? First, it helps you communicate faster. If you have to translate every sentence, your brain is doing two jobs: finding the equivalent words and rearranging the sentence. It's like taking the long way around instead of going straight. On the other hand, when you think directly in English, you skip the middle step and your responses become quicker. Not only that, but thinking in English also makes you more confident. Translating in your head often causes delays, anxiety, and the fear that the other person will have to wait or won't understand you. But once you get used to thinking straight in English, you can speak more fluently, smoothly, and without pressure. Another important benefit is that your sentences will sound more natural, like the way native speakers talk. If you keep translating word for word, you're likely to make structural mistakes. For example, in Vietnamese, adjectives usually come after nouns, while in English they come before. If you translate directly, your sentence will sound awkward. But once your brain is used to forming ideas in English, you'll automatically arrange words in the correct and natural order. A common mistake many people make is trying to translate faster instead of changing their method. No matter how fast you translate, you'll always be slower than thinking directly in English. This is also why many people do well on grammar exercises on paper, but get stuck when it comes to real-life conversations. In addition, there isn't always a perfect one-to-one equivalent between two languages. If you keep forcing yourself to translate, you'll waste time and risk being misunderstood. A better way is to learn how to rephrase using the vocabulary you already have, instead of pushing yourself to find the exact word in your native language. This is the key that helps you speak English more fluently and naturally. Sometimes translation can distort your sentences. That's why the important goal is to practice thinking in English, not in your mother tongue. When you achieve this, you'll speak faster, more naturally, and feel more comfortable when communicating. To train this ability, you need practical, simple methods that you can apply in your daily life. First of all, understand that translating at the beginning is completely normal. When learning a new language, we need our mother tongue as a bridge to access new knowledge. But as you move forward, you need to be ready to cross that bridge and eventually let it go. Instead of looking at a chair and thinking of the word in your native language, train your brain to immediately produce the English word chair. This is an important step toward truly thinking directly in the new language. Many learners say that they know vocabulary and understand grammar, but when it comes to speaking, they freeze. The problem is not their knowledge, it's the way their brain is still translating. What you need to do is train your brain to take a new path, a path where thought and language flow straight in English without going through the middle step. So how can you start? There are many simple ways you can practice every day. Tip 1. Imagine conversations in your head. One of the most effective ways to practice thinking in English is to create imaginary conversations in your mind. You don't need anyone else to practice with, just yourself. While walking, waiting for the bus, or sipping coffee, imagine a friend comes up and starts talking to you in English. For example, they ask, "What are you doing today?" Immediately answer in your head, "I'm going to the market. Later I'll study English." The great thing about this technique is that it puts your brain in a real communication situation, forcing you to respond instantly in English instead of sitting there trying to translate from your native language. The more scenarios you imagine, the more flexible you become. Try changing the context, shopping, meeting a colleague, or chatting with a foreigner in an elevator. This is a powerful way to build reflexes, and you can do it anywhere, anytime. Tip 2. Use English during familiar activities. The brain learns fastest when language is tied to real actions. That's why you should take advantage of daily activities such as cooking, cleaning, walking, or exercising. When washing dishes, you can think, "I'm washing the dishes. The water is warm. The plates are clean." When cooking, "The soup smells delicious. I'm chopping the vegetables. I'm adding salt." These sentences are very simple, but it's exactly this simplicity that helps you maintain the habit. Remember, you don't need advanced vocabulary. The goal here is to force your brain to use English to express ideas instantly. After some time, you'll notice yourself automatically producing short sentences in English without much thought. Tip 3. Imitate the tone of native speakers. Listening and repeating is the first way children learn a language, and it's also the secret to building your reflexes. When you listen to a podcast, a video, or a short dialogue, immediately repeat what you hear. Don't just pay attention to the words. Focus on the intonation, the stress, the speed, and the speaker's emotions. For example, if you hear the sentence, "I'm going to the store right now," repeat it with the same rhythm and feeling. Think of it as a copy-paste with your voice game. The more you imitate, the more your brain gets used to processing English at a natural speed. At first, it might feel difficult, but with just 5 to 10 minutes of daily practice, you'll see clear progress. Step by step, you'll stop translating and start reacting in English almost instantly. Tip 4. Keep a short idea journal. Writing a journal is a great way to practice thinking in English, but you don't need to write long entries. Just 2 to 3 sentences each day about what you did or your upcoming plans are enough. For example, today I felt tired but happy. I studied for 2 hours. Tomorrow I will call my friend. What matters is writing with the words you already know, without forcing yourself to translate every sentence from your native language. This way, you build the habit of forming thoughts directly in English, short and clear. Over time, you can try writing longer, describing your emotions or experiences in more detail. This is also a wonderful way to track your progress day by day. Tip 5. Think visually with the objects around you. Another highly effective method is to instantly connect English words with the images you see, instead of translating in your head. For example, when you see a book, let the word book pop up immediately in your mind. When you see a chair, think chair. When you see your phone, think phone. Skip the translation step. Apply this everywhere. When you're outside, in class, or at home. At first, you'll need to remind yourself, but gradually it will become a habit. This is how children learn a language. They connect words directly with objects without any translation layer. If you do this daily, you'll notice your brain naturally begins to prioritize English faster and more easily. So let's recap. This is your daily plan to train yourself to think in English. It doesn't require much time, no complicated textbooks, and most importantly, you can apply it right away. With just a few small steps, you can make English a natural part of your thought process. Day by day, you'll see real improvement. Morning is the golden time to warm up your brain. Right after waking up, your mind is still clear and open to new habits. This is the perfect moment to plant the first English seeds of the day. Instead of grabbing your phone and scrolling through the news, try taking a deep breath, smiling, and silently telling yourself a few simple sentences in English. For example, today will be a good day. I have a meeting at 10 a.m. I want to study English for 20 minutes. I will cook dinner tonight. Just 2 or 3 short sentences. But if you do this regularly, you are training your brain to switch from thinking in your native language to thinking directly in English. You can repeat this while brushing your teeth, choosing your clothes, or making yourself a cup of coffee. Over time, it will become a natural habit. Throughout the day, you'll encounter countless situations to practice. Instead of ignoring them, turn them into opportunities. Whatever you see, name it in English. Whatever situation you face, describe it in simple sentences. For example, when you're outside, the bus is coming. That man is eating a sandwich. The children are playing football. Or at home, I'm washing the dishes. The floor is clean. The soup smells delicious. You don't have to say them out loud. Thinking them in your head is enough. At first, you'll come across words you don't know. Don't worry. Skip them in the moment, then note them down to check later. The next time you see the same situation, you'll remember faster. This method helps you expand your vocabulary naturally, tied to real-life contexts, instead of memorizing words mechanically. Another highly effective method is listening and imitating, also called the shadowing technique. All you need is a short dialogue, a podcast, or an English video. Listen to one sentence, then repeat it exactly. Don't just focus on the words. Pay attention to the tone, the stress, and the emotion. For example, if you hear, "How are you today?" don't just repeat the words, but try to copy the speaker's intonation as well. It's like you're acting like doing a voice copy-paste. Just 5 minutes of practice a day can bring noticeable results. You'll find yourself reacting faster with your mouth and brain working together more smoothly. More importantly, you'll gradually get used to the natural rhythm of English, something textbooks can't easily teach. Evening is the perfect time to reflect on your day. As you lie down, close your eyes and relax your body. Try retelling the events of your day in English. It doesn't need to be long, just a few short sentences such as, "I went to the supermarket, I cooked lunch, I watched an English video, I called my sister." The wonderful thing about this step is that there's no pressure to be right or wrong. You're simply reviewing your day. It's a gentle moment that helps your brain strengthen memories and make English a natural part of your thinking. Our brains tend to be lazy. They prefer the native language because it's more familiar. But when you create short English moments throughout the day, your brain gradually learns to accept and prioritize English. At first, maybe only 10% of your thoughts are in English. But with consistency, that number will rise to 30%, 50%, then 70%. One day you'll suddenly realize you just thought in English without even trying. That's the sign you've broken free from translation and started thinking directly in your new language. Beyond the 4 main steps, you can apply some extra tips to maintain the habit. Celebrate small victories, even if it's just understanding one sentence in a podcast or thinking of a phrase faster than yesterday. Diversify your listening sources. Switch between podcasts, videos, and short films to avoid boredom. Set small challenges for yourself. For example, today, think of 5 English sentences while cooking, and tomorrow increase it to 7. And always stay curious. Always ask yourself, how would a native speaker say this? Thinking in English is not an inborn talent. It's a skill you can train. The key is persistence. You don't need to spend hours each day, just small but consistent moments. Every morning, every afternoon, every night, you're planting new seeds of English thinking. At first, you'll feel slow, but don't give up. Remember, children take years to master their native language, so taking a few months or even a year to get comfortable with English is completely normal. Start today. Try forming your very first thought in English right after finishing this article. One day you'll smile when you realize you're thinking in English effortlessly. That is the moment of true freedom in language learning. Always be patient and kind with yourself. On the journey of learning a language, making mistakes is completely normal. It's even proof that you're improving. Every mistake teaches you something new and brings you closer to confidence in English. So don't be discouraged by imperfection. See it as a stepping stone toward growth. What matters most is continuing your effort each day, even just a little. Every time you listen, speak, write, or think in English, you're planting another seed of fluency for the future. With persistence, those seeds will grow into a strong and lasting skill. Thank you for walking this journey with me. This is Chill English, and I'm Quinn. Let me remind you, keep thinking in English, keep practicing, and above all, trust in your own ability. You're far stronger than you think, and this journey will surely bring you the rewards you deserve.